Hey everyone, welcome to Homestead Corner. Today I have got a $25 emergency preparedness stock up. So today we were able to get into the Dollar Tree to do our weekly stock up, and I did a $25 budget, and I got just a few pantry items and mostly emergency supplies. So we want to make sure that we've got everything we need in our pantries and our supplies so we are ready when something happens. And the way things are going, it can be anything at any moment. So we definitely have to be prepared for that. So $25, let's see what we got. So the first thing I grabbed was one of these 4x6 tarps. I love these for small projects and stuff like that. If you have to cover a generator, if you're going to be leaving it outside, make sure your generator is not hot. If it's a gas one, definitely. But these are great to cover those over, cover over anything outside that you need to keep it from the weather. They're great for covering windows, things like that. So I love these. I think they are so handy, and you can even lay this out on the ground and put dirt or leaves or whatever if you don't have a wheelbarrow and drag stuff off on it. Works really good for that as well. So tarps are something we love to have because they are so handy in so many different ways. And the next thing I grabbed was a extra pack of rope. I don't think you can have too much rope in your supplies either. Makes it great if you want to hang that tarp up and collect water, or if you need to put up a clothesline, need to bundle anything together. Rope, again, one of those things, you need a lot of it, and it's so useful for so many different things. And we also grabbed a big pack of zip ties. There's 120 in here, like four different sizes in there, which is great. And they're brightly colored. You can see them easily. But zip ties are, again, one of those multi-purpose things that you can use for a ton of stuff. We use zip ties all the time. They are great for temporary fix for fencing and all sorts of stuff, bundling things together, organizing your cables, lots and lots of things. You really can do a lot. These three things can help in so many situations. And the next thing we grabbed was a pack of the 4 individual super glues. I love these for all of our emergency bags. I keep them in the car, in my purse, all over the place. They are so handy. It's just one use and you can toss it. And the bigger ones, I don't love those because they always get all junked up and you land up losing half of it, 3/4 of it anyway. After you use it once, it's just sealed shut. So I love these little ones because you're not so wasteful and you can just toss it after you use it. And a lot of times you can get a couple, if they're pretty close together, you can use it a couple times. There's enough in there for a few projects. And the next thing I grabbed was this moisture absorber. These are my absolute favorite for the pantry, the gun cabinet, wherever you store your ammo, anything like that. You want to keep it nice and dry. You can literally see the water fill up in here. I've been using these for years in the pantry and they work wonderfully. We just love these, and I think it's good to have a decent supply of these on hand. In a longer term situation, you're going to want to make sure you can still keep all those things dry that you need to. So we keep a good stash of them in the pantry. I think they are so important. The next thing I grabbed were these little toe warmers. Winter is coming and we need to be prepared for that as well. We keep lots of the hot hands for our hands in our pantry, and I like to keep a few of these toe warmers as well. When it gets under minus 25, when it's minus 25, minus 30, that's when we really use these products, because our boots obviously are warm enough for regular everyday winter stuff, but when you're outside for hours, it really gets cold when you're cleaning up that snow. And if it's really cold out, that's when these come in super handy. It's really hard for your body just to keep up, even though you're moving constantly out there. And the next thing I grabbed was a heavy duty like duct tape. These are wonderful for tons and tons of projects. If you're gonna hang plastic over a window, a tarp, over a doorway to make a microclimate, whatever. This comes in so handy. It's a great temporary fix also until you can get to something. If you've got something that's moving that isn't supposed to be, duct tape will keep it together. The next thing I grabbed was this little LED push light. I absolutely love these in the pantry. We stick them up underneath the shelves. So when we are looking for something, we can just press that button and it's going to help us find it, because we keep our pantry nice and dark so the food lasts the longest that it can. We don't want a bunch of light in there, but when you're looking for something, you can quickly just push this on, push it off. I know a lot of people put these around their house. When the lights go down, they are already in place. They know where they are. Right next to light switches is a great place. And they have got them when an emergency happens. They're all ready to go. So that's another great use for them, and we love them in the pantry. The next thing I grabbed was this drop cloth. It is 9 by 12 feet. It's really thin plastic, which is, you know, it's not going to last a super long time, but in those situations, if you have got to cover a door, a window, anything like that, you can double these up definitely to help it. But these are great in a doorway if you are going in and out of a room, but you want to keep the heat in. It's nice and flexible. It moves really easy, so you can just scooch in and keep the heat in that room. So we like to have a few of these on hand as well, just to make sure that if we've got to close off a room, we can. And you know, I got the matches because I didn't get matches last time. I stayed strictly in the food section last time, and everyone was wondering where the matches were. Well, here they are. You got to have lots of matches. You can't have too many. All you need to do really is just keep these dry. They're going to be just fine. We keep them in shoe boxes so they stay nice and dry. If water splashed on anything, it's just going to run off the shoe box. So that's a great thing. Airtight containers are great. Whatever you have, just store them in something, because they will take on moisture, and if they get wet, they're not going to work properly. Unless you've got the storm matches that are waterproof. Those are wonderful, but they are really expensive, and these are really dirt cheap. $1.25, or a lot of times you can find them at Walmart or Dollar General for only $1 or even less. You never know what you're going to find. Dig around in the stores, because you really can find some super good deals. See, the next thing I grabbed was just an extra pair of work gloves. I really like these rubbery ones. They have nice little rubber inside, grippy fingertips. They fit pretty good, and they last quite a while because they're thicker than a lot of the other gloves that they have there. We like to keep extra of these in the pantry if we have got to work outside, fix fencing, lug wood, anything like that. We use these for lugging wood all the time because they grip on really good, and they do help keep your hands nice and warm as well. But you could fit other gloves inside, most likely. I would just get a little bigger of a size to make sure that your hands are going to fit in there with another pair of gloves if it's really cold in the winter. Let's see, what is next? Then I got an extra can of chicken broth. I could only find one can in the store this week, and I could not find the low sodium, which is what I prefer, but this will do the trick. Getting them into the pantry the best you can for what you have. A lot of times, if we can't get the low sodium, I will dig through the pantry and I'll use one can of low sodium and one of regular, just to reduce the sodium so it's not quite so much. But we love chicken broth for all sorts of stuff. It really helps with flavor, and you know, just cooking your rice or noodles in it is helpful. Gives it extra flavor, extra nutrients, and that is what we need in an emergency situation. And the next thing I grabbed was one of the chicken noodle soups. I figured, you know, I needed one more item to hit my $25 budget, and chicken noodle soup is something that we are definitely going to eat in this house. Whenever you get sick, having ready-made soups is wonderful, and they're also wonderful in emergencies. You can open and eat this if you can't heat it up. It is still going to be pretty good. It definitely tastes better heated up, but it is completely edible just the way it is out of the can. So we love those emergency things. If we can't heat it up, then, well, at least it's something. Might not be the best tasting, but we'll take it. It's better than going hungry, that's for sure. And then the next thing I grabbed was sliced pears, the Del Monte ones. The fruit at the regular grocery store, canned fruit, is so expensive. So we always try to get fruit whenever we can to get that into the pantry. We want to make sure we have enough. And there's not a lot of fruits that we love, so it is a smaller section of our pantry, but keeping it as full as possible definitely helps. We usually get our pineapple there. Sometimes we grab mandarins. Not everybody in the house loves them. Pears are another one. Anything that your family likes, I would definitely look for those, because canned fruit is really expensive at the other stores. And the last thing I got, I believe, yes, the last thing, that's it, 4 cans of the Muir Glen organic diced crushed tomatoes. We absolutely love these. This one has basil in it. This makes great pizza sauce, spaghetti sauce, anything like that. Just chuck it in the blender and blend it all up till you get the consistency you like, and then toss it in a pot, and you can season it up and make whatever kind of sauce it is that you and your family are looking for. I usually buy the canned stuff, and then when I have a ton of them and they need to be used, I will whip up a batch of pizza sauce, ketchup, barbecue sauce, anything like that. You can use this to really help your pantry in a bunch of different ways. If you're learning how to preserve food, you can turn these into lots of great things. And that is it. $25 is definitely not a super huge haul, but all kinds of things that we like to keep in our pantry and emergency supplies to make sure when something happens, we're ready for it. And that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!